Pi coin is about to explode, and here's why. Three massive catalysts are lining up right now that could send Pi from 44 cents to over $1 in the coming weeks. While everyone is giving up and saying Pi is dead, the charts are showing the exact same pattern we saw in May before Pi surged 200% overnight. Stop wasting time on other channels. I'm about to show you the Tier 1 exchange rumors, the staking revolution that's locking up millions of tokens, and the technical breakout pattern that's forming right now. Make sure to follow my Telegram and Facebook pages in the description for exclusive Pi updates you won't get anywhere else. Because what I'm about to reveal could change your Pi portfolio forever. Let me be completely honest with you about where Pi coin stands right now, because you deserve the truth, not sugar-coated promises. Pi coin has been trading in a tight range around 44 cents, sitting just above that crucial 40 cents support level that's been holding like a fortress. While Bitcoin hit new record highs and other altcoins pumped double digits, Pi seemed stuck in neutral. And I know that's been frustrating for many of you watching your portfolio. But here's what most people are missing, and this is where it gets interesting. When I analyze the charts using the Wyckoff theory, Pi coin is showing classic signs of being in the accumulation phase. This phase is characterized by exactly what we're seeing now: low volume, sideways price movement, and what looks like boring price action. But historically, this accumulation phase is followed by the markup phase, where prices can go absolutely parabolic. The first major catalyst that could trigger explosive price movement is the potential listing on a Tier 1 exchange. We've seen this pattern dozens of times in crypto, where a major exchange listing sends tokens on 500% to 1000% runs overnight. While nothing is confirmed, the increasing legitimacy of Pi Network's ecosystem makes this possibility more likely than ever before. The second catalyst is something that's happening right under everyone's nose. Ecosystem applications are gaining real traction. Fruity Pi, the gaming application on the Pi network, has become incredibly popular among community members, showing that people are actually using these applications. When mainstream adoption hits even one major Pi app, the entire ecosystem benefits, and that translates directly to token value. The third catalyst is the recently launched Pi Directory staking program that's creating genuine utility and demand. Users are staking millions of Pi tokens to support their favorite applications, which removes these tokens from circulation and creates organic buying pressure. This isn't just speculation, it's actual utility driving real demand. Now, let me show you what the charts are screaming right now, because the technical setup is absolutely beautiful for anyone who knows how to read it. The Bollinger Bands have been narrowing throughout this month, and when you see this pattern, it typically leads to what we call a Bollinger Band squeeze. The last time we saw this exact pattern was in May, and Pi coin surged over 200% in the following weeks. Even more compelling is the giant double bottom pattern that's formed at the $0.4055 level. This pattern appeared both in April and June, creating a strong psychological and technical support level. Combined with the falling wedge pattern that's clearly visible on the charts, these are classic bullish reversal signals that serious technical analysts pay close attention to. Here's something that mainstream crypto media is completely overlooking: Pi Network's venture into artificial intelligence through AI Studio. Thousands of creators have already launched their AI chatbots on the platform, creating an entirely new dimension of utility and value. While some people question the utility of these applications, the sheer volume of development activity shows that builders are taking Pi Network seriously as a platform for innovation. This AI integration isn't just a side project, it's positioning Pi Network at the intersection of two of the hottest trends in technology right now. When blockchain meets AI, we typically see explosive value creation, and Pi Network is positioning itself perfectly to capture this trend. Based on the technical analysis and fundamental developments, here's what I'm watching for in the coming weeks. If Pi breaks above the current resistance levels with volume, the first major target is the psychological level of $1. That represents more than a 100% gain from current levels, but it's just the beginning. The next major resistance level sits at $1.665, which would represent nearly a 300% gain from current prices. These aren't wild predictions. They're based on previous support and resistance levels that Pi has tested multiple times. When technical analysis aligns with fundamental developments like we're seeing now, these targets become much more achievable. The Pi directory staking program is creating something we haven't seen before in the Pi ecosystem. Genuine token utility that drives demand. When users stake millions of Pi tokens to support applications they believe in, those tokens are locked up and removed from the circulating supply. Basic economics tells us that reduced supply with steady or increasing demand leads to higher prices. What makes this even more powerful is that staking rewards are paid in Pi tokens, creating a cycle where successful applications generate more staking rewards, which attracts more stakers, which reduces supply further. This is the kind of tokenomics that creates sustainable long-term value rather than speculative bubbles, because it's grounded in real usage and demand, not just hype. The crypto market always moves in cycles, periods of quiet accumulation followed by sudden price surges, and right now Pi Network is sitting in a unique window where it actually has working applications, active users, and real utility, yet it's still trading at historically low levels. That kind of setup doesn't stick around forever. Once the broader market catches on and mainstream recognition kicks in, prices usually accelerate far quicker than most people are prepared for, leaving those who hesitated scrambling to catch up. The key is positioning before the breakout happens, not after. By the time PiCoin is making headlines for its price gains, the biggest gains will already be behind us. Smart pioneers are accumulating during these quiet periods when everyone else has lost interest. If you found this analysis valuable and want to stay ahead of the Pi Network developments, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more in-depth technical analysis and ecosystem updates. I'll be tracking these patterns closely and updating you on any major developments that could trigger the next price movement. Don't forget to follow my Telegram and Facebook pages linked in the description for real-time updates and exclusive content. The Pi Network community is strongest when we share information and support each other through both the calm periods and the explosive growth phases. Drop a comment below and let me know, are you accumulating Pi during this consolidation phase? Or are you waiting for confirmation of the breakout? I read every comment and love hearing your perspectives on where Pi Network is heading next. Remember, successful investing isn't about timing the perfect entry, it's about recognizing value before the market does. Pi Network is building real utility, attracting real developers, and creating real demand through staking and applications. The technical analysis simply confirms what the fundamentals are already suggesting. Stay informed, stay patient, and keep building within the Pi ecosystem. The pioneers who maintain their conviction during quiet periods like this are often the ones who benefit most when the next growth phase begins.